We want to talk AD, but before we get there, let's just talk about this team and the win. James, it was kind of nice to have an offensive night like this, to win easy, to sit your guys in the fourth quarter. I know you guys talk about that a lot. That feeling is rare these days, but it is nice when you get it. 136 points. I mean, the Lakers as a team shot 58%. They shot over 41% from three. They've turned into an efficient three-point shooting team, 15 of 36. And that ball was moving, 39 assists, 6 guys in double figures, and everyone got to play.
Well, all the other things you mentioned happened because of the 39 assists. That's really moving the ball and moving the defense. So when you move the defense, eventually it's going to give you something. The only way you do that is a lot of people touching the ball. They made the extra pass on several times. So, yeah, you like to see. That means that, that means the team, they love each other. They like each other. When that ball is popping and is moving and everyone's involved, you get the kind of results that they got tonight. I don't care who they're playing. 10th seed in the East, it doesn't matter. When they play like this, if they attempt to move the ball and, get everybody involved, they're going to get some good results. In the paint, threes, and everything else you mentioned.
Rob, you see what the starters did right there. 3 guys over 20, Rui efficient. Austin Reeves chipped in 12. They also had 68 points in the paint, 23 fast break points, and only 9 turnovers. Rob, when you see that kind of a complete game as a player, it's got to be a pretty good feeling.
It's a great feeling. This is one of those things where you say, hey, you see what we can do when we move the ball and share the basketball. Let's continue to do this, not just against the teams that are subpar. You want the teams or the upper echelon to do this too, because we talked about it before the game, how they moved the ball so well against Boston. And they was able to beat Boston. And that's just because you're going against a good team doesn't mean you still don't move the basketball. You still have to let this be infectious. You have to say, hey, this is who we are. This is who we can be. I know you're saying Orlando's not that good, but you move the ball. Usually on teams like this is when guys get his career high because they're, okay, we're just going to go to him. Yeah. So it's so important that they take this game and look at the rest of their schedule and say, this is who we have to be from here on out. We have to share the basketball because we're so dangerous when we make everybody a weapon.
Big game. I want to talk AD. Before we get to that, people might not know the reason why you started to wear goggles was Kareem had told you after you had an eye injury because you were getting tentative to try them, and it changed your game. I mean, listen, people here poked in the eye. They think it's not that serious, but those can be scary injuries. Those can really affect a player. How important was it to see AD on the court tonight and then play like that? 22 points, 10 of 14. They got him going early, 15 rebounds, and he was aggressive.
A nice recovery. His was more of a contusion. Didn't really get a finger in the eye. I had almost an inch in my membrane almost, and I had to wear a patch for 3 weeks. I didn't know what was going to happen after I took that patch off. But it's nice to see AD take that hit. And, it's a serious hit when you get hit around the eye because you get headaches, you have blurry vision, and your peripheral vision sometimes leaves, and you just feel uncool and uncomfortable. And so it was nice to see him come back with authority and with some physicality. So obviously, it's a well-healed injury. I think he's good.
I don't think I've ever asked you, how painful was that injury?
Very painful. Yeah. Happened once in college, and the second time, I swear that I got about an inch finger in there, and it was just, I was crying all night long. And when I came back to play, because, I was going to the cup, fiercely. That was my thing. But when I got close to the rim, I would shoot a little floater over here or over here, and Kareem saw it. He said, I think you're afraid of contact, because he had a serious eye injury in college, and the same thing happened to him. So I recommend goggles. It's a lot of eye injuries, especially at the high school level. But kids, they just don't think it's cool to have on goggles. They get teased a lot. But there's one guy out there named Kareem. C-R-E-A-M, college player. Yeah. He wears goggles, and cool. Protect your eyes, man.
Yeah, I had the same injury also in college.
Does it hurt?
I will never talk about it, where I had a guy stick his finger in.
Does that hurt?
Yeah. I had to have plastic surgery to repair my eyelid because he ripped my eyelid.
Who knew?
Yeah, and so when you talk about eyes, think about it. You got to be able to see. You got to be able to judge those.
AD was able to see tonight.
Exactly. So AD came through, and the thing is, I like AD, it didn't deter him from going to the basket. It didn't deter him from being, aggressive. And that's AD's whole game. You have to be aggressive defensively and offensively.
All right, guys, let's hear from Darvin. He's speaking with Mike in the media.
Darvin, coming off a pair of deflating losses, what did you make of the energy from LeBron and AD and kind of how the group went along with that tonight?
I thought it was great. We got off to a bit of a slow start in the first couple of 3 minutes, but we quickly recalibrated. Spotted them 11-2, and then I think we went on like a 12-2, 14-2 run, and then kind of pretty much didn't look back. It's a hell of a young ball club over there. You know, their record may not reflect it, but they're fighting for a position as well. Love Quinn Snyder. He's like a big brother to me. He's going to make sure they compete, and there's a lot of, you know, young weapons over there in spite of being, you know, without Trae Young. But I'm happy for our guys. You know, there's a lot of carryover on the defensive end. We talked about limiting offensive rebounds and doing a better job on the defensive glass. For the majority of the game, I thought we did a good job doing that. And then the ball movement, you know, to end up with 39 assists is huge. And we continue that way, you know, playing the right way. You know, guys going to miss shots, but as long as we give them the opportunity to do so, and we make quick decisions, you have nights like this. We have six guys that ended up being in double figures. So I thought it was a great night, great beneficial night on both sides of the ball.
Coach, when you talk about guys scoring double figures and winning the way that you did by 31, what are the lessons to be learned from such an easy victory?
Well, again, as I told them, even though you may be dealing with a surplus in terms of a lead, there's things you still can work on. You know, you get up by 20, 25, 30, you tend to exhale. As you're building it, 15, 17, 20, you know, again, you tend to relax. Just how can we stay sharp? How can we continue to build defensive stops, stack defensive stops, and get better at knowing who we're closing out to, being great on the ball. And again, once the shot goes up, something that we've been struggling with throughout the season, how can we defensive rebound better, get everybody involved in that part of the game. And once we get it, not being stagnant, you know, just playing fast, whether it's running habits in the full court, pace in the half court, being physical, setting screens, and making quick decisions.
Darvin, you guys have a few days here before your next game Friday against the Sixers. It's almost unheard of to have one practice at points in a week at points this season, but you have opportunity to have a couple. How are you going to approach that as a coaching staff?
Well, tomorrow will be off. We had a lot of guys put in a lot of good work over the course of the last few days. So we'll give them off and come back Wednesday, man, with a sharp focus to get better and work on ourselves. That's been the biggest key. We'll get a chance to tighten up some things offensively, tighten up some things defensively. There's a couple of new wrinkles we want to do on both sides of the ball. We'll get a chance to look at, and then you know, watch a little film and see how we can be the best version of ourselves. But just take it one day at a time, starting with the day off, everyone getting off their feet, hopefully spending time with their families, getting away from it for a little bit. But then, you know, once we strike back up on Wednesday, you know, knowing that we have to be better, you know, no matter what's happening around the league or around the positioning with our team, if we don't, again, try to be the best version of ourselves and take care of our own business, nothing else will matter.